This is the story of Philip and Carissa Grandy, a tale of passion turned poisonous, a story where deception led to tragedy, where love was marred by secrets and lies, and justice, though sought, remained elusive. Philip and Carissa seemed like the perfect couple. They had it all: wealth, charm, and a seemingly unbreakable bond. But appearances can be deceiving. Underneath their polished exterior lay a web of deceit. Philip's duplicity came at a cost, and Carissa paid the ultimate price. The story unfolds with shocking revelations, each twist more disturbing than the last. As we delve deeper into their lives, we uncover a dark narrative, one where trust was shattered, and lives were forever altered. The events that transpired left a community in shock. Friends and family were left grappling with the unthinkable. This is their story, a gripping tale of love, betrayal, and the quest for justice. Philip Grandy was a man of many talents. Born into a wealthy family, he had every advantage. He excelled in academics and sports. He attended the finest schools and graduated with honors. His charm and intelligence were his greatest assets. It was no surprise that he quickly climbed the corporate ladder. By the time he met Carissa, Philip was already a successful entrepreneur. Carissa, on the other hand, had a different background. She grew up in a modest household. Her parents worked hard to give her a good life. Carissa was known for her kindness and generosity. She pursued a career in social work, dedicating her life to helping others. Her beauty was matched only by her compassion. Their meeting was like a scene from a fairy tale. Philip was captivated by Carissa's warmth and sincerity. Carissa, in turn, was drawn to Philip's confidence and ambition. They fell in love quickly. Their relationship blossomed, and soon they were inseparable. They married in a lavish ceremony surrounded by friends and family. Together, they seemed unstoppable. They bought a beautiful home and started planning for a family. Life was perfect, or so it seemed. But beneath the surface, cracks were beginning to form, and it wouldn't be long before their perfect world came crashing down. Carissa's first suspicions arose gradually. It was the little things at first: Philip working late more often, the unexplained absences, the hushed phone calls. Carissa tried to dismiss her fears. She trusted Philip, but the nagging doubt lingered in her mind. She couldn't shake the feeling that something was wrong. One evening, while Philip was out, Carissa decided to confront her fears. She looked through his phone and found messages that confirmed her worst suspicions. Philip was having an affair. The revelation shattered her. She confronted Philip, who initially denied everything, but the evidence was undeniable. Philip finally confessed to his infidelity. Carissa was devastated. She couldn't believe the man she loved had betrayed her. Philip begged for forgiveness. He promised to end the affair and make things right. Carissa, despite her hurt, decided to give him another chance. She wanted to believe that their love could withstand this test. They sought counseling and tried to rebuild their relationship. But the trust had been broken. The scars were too deep. Carissa couldn't forget the betrayal. Tensions between them grew. Arguments became more frequent. The once happy home was now filled with resentment and mistrust. Their attempts at reconciliation were failing, and the darkness that had crept into their lives was only beginning to take hold. As the months passed, the strain on Carissa took its toll. She began to experience severe health issues. Frequent headaches, fatigue, and unexplained pains plagued her daily life. Concerned, she sought medical advice. The doctors were baffled. Tests were inconclusive, and her symptoms persisted. Carissa's condition worsened, and she found herself in and out of hospitals. Philip's behavior during this time was peculiar. He seemed distant, almost indifferent to Carissa's suffering. While she battled her mysterious illness, Philip was often away on business trips. Friends noticed his lack of concern and began to whisper among themselves. Carissa, weakened and in pain, couldn't help but feel abandoned. One fateful night, Carissa's condition took a dire turn. She was rushed to the hospital, unresponsive and in critical condition. Despite the doctor's best efforts, Carissa passed away. Her sudden death left everyone in shock. Grief-stricken, Carissa's family demanded answers. How could a vibrant young woman die so suddenly? The doctors were unable to provide a clear cause of death. Autopsy results were inconclusive. Carissa's family was left with more questions than answers. Rumors began to circulate. Some speculated that foul play was involved. The whispers grew louder and suspicion turned towards Philip. What had really happened to Carissa? The truth was about to unravel. Section 5. Investigation. The police launched an investigation into Carissa's death. Detectives combed through her medical records, looking for clues. They interviewed friends, family, and colleagues. Slowly, a disturbing pattern began to emerge. Philip's behavior had raised red flags for many. His seemingly detached demeanor and frequent absences were suspicious. Detectives discovered that Philip had taken out a substantial life insurance policy on Carissa just months before her death. This, coupled with his infidelity, painted a troubling picture. The investigation intensified, and forensic experts were brought in to re-examine Carissa's autopsy. Toxicology reports revealed traces of a rare poison in her system. The evidence pointed towards foul play. Philip became the prime suspect in his wife's death. Detectives uncovered emails and phone records that suggested he had been researching poisons. His browser history was filled with searches on how to administer toxins without detection. Philip's actions were damning, and he was arrested on suspicion of murder. The community was in shock. The once respected entrepreneur was now accused of a heinous crime. Carissa's family was devastated but determined to seek justice. The trial that followed would be closely watched, as the truth behind Carissa's tragic death was about to be revealed. Section 6. Trial. The trial of Philip Grandy was a media sensation. Reporters flocked to the courthouse, eager to capture every moment. The prosecution presented a compelling case. They detailed Philip's affair, the life insurance policy, and his research on poisons. Witnesses testified about his suspicious behavior and lack of concern for Carissa. The defense, however, painted a different picture. They argued that there was no concrete evidence linking Philip to the crime. They claimed that Carissa's death was a tragic accident, possibly due to a rare medical condition. Philip's attorney portrayed him as a grieving husband wrongfully accused. The courtroom was tense, with emotions running high. Key evidence came in the form of the toxicology report. Experts testified that the poison found in Carissa's system was not something she could have ingested accidentally. The prosecution argued that Philip had methodically planned his wife's murder to be with his lover and claim the insurance money. The defense countered, suggesting alternative explanations and casting doubt on the prosecution's narrative. The trial lasted for weeks, with both sides presenting their arguments passionately. Carissa's family watched from the gallery, hoping for justice. The jury deliberated for days, weighing the evidence and testimonies. The nation waited with bated breath for the verdict that would determine Philip's fate. Section 7. Verdict. After days of deliberation, the jury finally reached a verdict. The courtroom was packed, the air thick with anticipation. Philip sat stoically, his fate hanging in the balance. The judge called for silence as the jury foreman stood to deliver the decision. Guilty. Philip Grandy was found guilty of the murder of his wife, Carissa. The verdict sent shockwaves through the community. Carissa's family wept with relief and sorrow. Justice had been served, but their pain remained. Philip showed little emotion as he was led away in handcuffs. The sentence was swift, life in prison without the possibility of parole. The once prominent businessman was now a convicted murderer. The trial had revealed the depths of Philip's deception. His calculated actions had robbed a young woman of her life. The community grappled with the betrayal. How could someone so seemingly perfect commit such a heinous act? Friends and neighbors struggled to reconcile the Philip they knew with the monster he had become. Carissa's family tried to find solace in the verdict, but the void left by her absence was immense. The trial had answered some questions but left others lingering. Why had Philip done it? How had he masked his true nature for so long? The answers remained elusive, buried with Carissa. Section 8. Conclusion. The story of Philip and Carissa Grandy is a stark reminder of the fragility of trust. It shows how easily love can be tainted by deceit. Philip's betrayal was not just a breach of marital vows, it was a carefully orchestrated plan that ended in tragedy. Carissa's death was a stark reminder of the dangers hidden within seemingly perfect relationships. The trial brought some measure of justice, but it also highlighted the complexities of human behavior. Philip's actions were driven by greed and infidelity, yet, to those who knew him, he was a loving husband and a successful businessman. This duality is what makes such stories both compelling and terrifying. Carissa's legacy lives on through her family and the memories of those who loved her. Her story serves as a cautionary tale. It reminds us to look beyond appearances and question the intentions of those we trust. The quest for justice may have been fulfilled, but the shadows of doubt and sorrow linger. In the end, the story of Philip and Carissa is a tragic tale of love, betrayal, and lost lives. It teaches us that even the most idyllic facades can hide dark secrets, and that sometimes justice, though served, comes too late to save the innocent.